सुबह जब यहाँ पे लोग जमा थे और उसमें हर तरह के लोग थे, सरकारी और आम आवाम के जो बाकी भी जो मुसाफिर थे। यहाँ पे तकरीबन 150 से 200 की तादाद थी जो यहाँ पे जमा थे और यहाँ पे धमाका हुआ। इनिशियली हमने जो चीज़ का इन्वेस्टिगेट किया, क्राइम सीन, ये सारा कुछ हमें इनिशियली लग रहा था कि शायद कोई खुदकुश होगा, लेकिन क्योंकि आवाम का इतना जमघटा और रश था इस जगह पे, मौके पे, तो मज़ीद हम इसका तयन कर रहे हैं कि इन एक्चुअली इसकी नोयत थी क्या। इनिशियली अभी तक जो फिगर्स हमारे पास आहिस्ता आहिस्ता जो पाइल अप हुए हैं जो कंफर्म हुए हैं, जिसमें 16 जो हैं शहादतें कंफर्म हुई हैं, लेकिन ये बाकी क्रिटिकल हालत में हैं और ये फिगर जो है हमारी अप हो सकती है, और 30 की ज़ख्मी की जो हमारे पास फिगर।
A massive rescue operation is underway in Lebanon after multiple Israeli airstrikes across the country over the weekend. One bombardment killed at least 23 people in Almat, a village north of the Lebanese capital of Beirut. Authorities say 6 other people were wounded. Video shows rescue workers searching through rubble as they attempt to clear the area. Meantime, Israel is assessing now how the Trump administration might impact its fight against Hamas. Fox's Trey Yingst has more from Tel Aviv.
That's right. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he spoke 3 times over the past week with President-elect Trump, and that the two see eye to eye on the threat from Iran. Today does mark 400 days since the war in the Middle East began. And overnight, thousands of protesters gathered in the streets of Tel Aviv, demanding the release of the remaining hostages from Gaza. Sources say dozens are still alive out of the 101 people left in the Strip. The protests come as a regional diplomatic source told Fox News that Qatar, the main negotiator in ceasefire talks, is ending its role in the discussions. That source said Qatari officials are open to future conversations if both sides show a willingness to end the war.
I hope all this together, the 2.5 months that left for Biden administration and the fact that Qatar is pressuring Hamas will connect everything together, and finally a ceasefire and a deal will come.
As part of the new decision, Qatar will also be forcing Hamas to close its political office in Doha. Inside Gaza, Israeli forces continue to operate in the northern part of the Strip. According to the Hamas-run Palestinian Health Ministry, more than 43,000 people have been killed since the war began. That number does not distinguish between civilians and militants. A recent UN report says around 70% are women and children. The Israelis say nearly half of the people killed are members of Hamas or Islamic Jihad. With no diplomatic end in sight, the Americans are still encouraging the Israelis to ensure that humanitarian aid is distributed throughout Gaza.
A 6.8 magnitude earthquake shook Cuba yesterday. It comes after weeks of hurricanes and blackouts that have left the island nation reeling. Rumbling was felt across the eastern stretch of the country, including bigger cities like Santiago de Cuba, more than 100 miles from the epicenter. Residents were left shaken. Many ran out into the street and some hid under doorways. There were no immediate reports of major damage or injuries. That quake came just 4 days after Hurricane Rafael ripped through western Cuba, knocking out power island-wide.
Let's get you to New Jersey now, where the ongoing wildfire there has turned deadly. Officials confirming an 18-year-old Parks employee died while helping fire crews. New Jersey's been under severe drought conditions, but some rainfall overnight could help firefighters in their effort to slow the spread. CBS News correspondent Tom Hansen has more on this. Tom, good morning.
Hey there, Errol. Good morning to you. Well, as you can see, we are standing on a smoldering hillside. Less than 24 hours ago, this was full of flames. Now it is the scene behind me, just patches of smoke, some areas that are still so clearly burning. Now, smoke is definitely a huge concern here in this area as we've been driving through. It smells like a bonfire here this morning. That weather system that came through overnight has certainly helped efforts, but I want to show you exactly what we're seeing over here. If you're a homeowner like this one across the street, you are still watching this area very closely. These flames got just a stone's throw from homes just like this one. Huge concern over there. And as we've seen this morning, any gust of wind leads to these flames reigniting. Now, they really haven't seen any sort of dramatic increase in the flames over here just yet, but that's going to be something that we're watching very closely in the hours to come, because although we got the rain overnight, we are expecting dry conditions, those gusty winds, 20 miles an hour, that could certainly lead to some flare-ups. We are just less than half a mile from where one person, an 18-year-old who was helping battle the flames, died from fallen trees. So that's also another concern for officials here. Fallen trees hollowed out from the flames that could certainly destabilize and fall. For the time being, people, though, here are watching this very closely. That rain very much needed. Hopefully that will help firefighters contain this blaze, get it under control so that people can go back to their falls.
In Amsterdam say 5 people were hospitalized after a fight broke out following a soccer match. It happened yesterday. The clashes involving fans of an Israeli soccer team and pro-Palestinians in Amsterdam. Unrest grew after the match and riot police had to intervene. Dozens of people have been arrested.
على 10 بالضبط بدي أقوم وأخذ راكتي وأظهر على البلكون مثل العادة. حسيت بشيء طلع انفجار كتير قوي. بالانفجار هيدا الضربة اللي انضربت حد جيراننا اللي فيها عيال جاية عيال هربانين يعني لاجئين عنا بالضيعة. طار الغبرة تقبع شبابيك عندي الإزاز طار وصار في دمار بقلب البيت يعني عندي أنا شخصيا لأن بعيد عني البيت المدمر حوالي 10-15 متر. حياتنا مش شايفين أو مش شاعرين أو مش حاسين يعني بهيك قصص. كان في صدمة قوية لإلنا.
الحصيلة تقريبا الشبه نهائية اللي عنا لهلا واللي صرنا ناقلينها هن 24 شهيد ومن جرحى على المستشفيات، 3 صحتهم كانت منيحة، تم معالجتهم بطوارئ المستشفيات ماريتيم والمعونات وخرجوا منها، 5 بدهم دخول.
Shooting during homecoming weekend at Tuskegee University in Alabama. One person was arrested after gunfire left one person dead, 16 others injured. Faith Abube is on the scene at the university with the latest. Good morning, Faith.
Good morning to you, George. Classes were canceled today as the university community grapples with how a celebration ended in such grief. Investigators have arrested a man they say was seen leaving the scene here. And after the shooting, he was seen holding a machine gun, according to authorities. Videos of the shooting circulating on social media, and this morning a warning that some of the images you're about to see may be disturbing.
This morning, a 25-year-old man, Jaquez Myrick, charged with possession of a machine gun in a deadly campus shooting at Tuskegee University. The school 20 miles south of Auburn, Alabama, descending into chaos overnight Sunday.
On the Belmont West side of Tuskegee campus, unknown description of any shooters, multiple injuries.
A barrage of gunfire ringing out as students frantically ran to safety. Authorities say an 18-year-old visitor, Latavian Johnson, was killed. 16 others, including Tuskegee students, were injured. Interim Police Chief Patrick Martis telling me he helped load an injured victim into an ambulance.
It was chaotic because the bad part about it, while other officers were assisting the medical triage of it, we had to exercise caution because we didn't know if the shooter was still on the scene.
The shooting happening as the historically black college celebrated its centennial homecoming.
And this morning, questions remain about whether there were multiple shooters. Investigators are still asking the public to send in tips using an FBI hotline. In the meantime, the university has released a statement urging students to seek out help with grief counselors who will be here all day at the chapel here on campus. Guys.
We are thinking of all that have been impacted by this. Okay, Faith, we appreciate you.